What's the crack? In this video, I'm going to explore how we can raise successful and entrepreneurial kids. I'm not saying we need to raise the next Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, although that would certainly be nice.
Very nice.
But a lot of the traits of an entrepreneur are traits that our kids can use to win at the game of life. And just think about it. Who wouldn't want our kids to be resilient, self-reliant, confident, curious, and adaptable problem solvers? My name's Dave, and on this channel, we normally talk about Airbnb, but I also like talking about being a dad and how we can raise our kids to be happy, resilient, and successful people. I'm a business owner, and once I made that jump from working for someone else to working for myself, my entire world opened up. We owe it to our kids to give them the tools to build themselves a life that they're gonna love. The education system that we grew up in comes from the Industrial Revolution, where we're taught to be cogs in someone else's machine. Productive little robots who don't think for ourselves and do what we're told. But there's another revolution coming with AI and ChatGPT, and the world of work is going to be shook up. Our kids need to be ready to adapt and even capitalize on the disruption that's coming in the next 5, 10, or 20 years. And we do that by encouraging resilience, self-reliance, confidence, and adaptability. Now, I've got 2 boys.
I'm Jack and I'm 6. I'm Tom and I'm 5.
So I'm thinking about this on a daily basis. And I guess you can ask me in 20 years if this has worked. Now, I've read these books and you should too. So let's get into it. How do we encourage resilience? Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks. So here's some way we can encourage this in our kids. Well, number 1 is model resilience. So show your kids how you've bounced back from your own troubles. And kids learn a lot from watching their parents. So in my situation, everyone has bad days. I try and explain to the kids if something's gone wrong, a big thing or a small thing, and sort of try and talk them through my thought process to sort of model the thought process that hopefully they're going to ingrain in themselves. So if something doesn't go right for me, I'll say to the kid, it's really disappointing. I really wanted that to work, but unfortunately it hasn't. But that's okay. I can try again, and I'm going to try it a different way the next time. So it's about showing kids it happens, but we can respond to it in a positive way and chart a new path. Number 2 is creating a safe environment for failure. In my opinion, we've got to encourage our kids to take risks and making sure they know that failure is okay. It's all about learning from mistakes. In business, they talk about failing fast and failing your way to success. And often it's only from learning things that don't work is how you figure out the things that will work. And a growth mindset's really important here. A growth mindset is the fact where you're going to be rubbish at something at the start, but with enough effort and practice and enough failures and mistakes that you're going to get better at it. What you don't want to instill in your kids is a fixed mindset where you say you're really good at art or you're really good at football, because that's going to make kids nervous to ever make a mistake, because that whole belief structure that they're good at something could crumble. So it's about encouraging kids to make mistakes and learn from that mistakes. Okay, we've learned that doesn't work. How is that going to change the way we approach the problem for the next attempt that we make? And they do it naturally. All kids fail when they're learning to walk or ride their bike. It's natural to happen, and I think at times we can sometimes criticize whenever they take the risk to try something, that if it doesn't work. And number 3, which is tied into the growth mindset again, is praising effort, not success. So highlighting the effort, and if they have persistence, even more so, rather than the outcome. And this is going to help them understand the value of hard work. So if they bring you a picture that they've worked hard on, it doesn't matter if it's all outside the lines. Instead of saying, wow, that's an amazing drawing or amazing coloring, because they know it's not going to be. You can say, wow, you worked so hard at that. Because let's face it, everything is a struggle when we're just getting started at it. And for kids, everything is going to be new. So things are going to be tough. It's not going to work out the way that they wanted. But by encouraging them and praising them that they're really sticking at it and they're trying so hard and they're doing it a little bit better than they did it the last time, that's what's going to keep them encouraged and keep them moving forward. Because that's what life is like. It is hard. Whenever you try anything new, a new business, a new skill, you're going to be rubbish at it at the start. But if you have that inbuilt knowledge that that's okay and it's supposed to be like that, and it's through hard work and determination and perseverance is the way that you're going to succeed. Okay, number 2, how do we foster self-reliance in our kids? Self-reliance empowers our kids to trust their own abilities and make decisions independently. So we can give them responsibility. And this is age-appropriate things that you're asking a kid to do that they know is an important job that you've asked them. Now, whether that's loading or unloading the dishwasher, putting their clothes away in their drawers, even helping out with cooking, it's a great way to give them responsibility and stuff that they they can puff their chest out and say, I helped with that. And it's given them more experience in real world things. You do not want a 10-year-old baby. You want a kid who grows up to know how to empty a dishwasher, to know how food appears in the fridge, to know how food appears on a plate. These are important life skills that kids are going to need and be more interested in developing further as they grow. Number 2 is encouraging decision making in the kids. Let them make choices, whether it's what clothes they wear or what you're going to do as a family at the weekend. You can guide them along by giving them some options, but let them decide. This helps the kids to determine in their own head, what do I like? What are my preferences? What do I think about this situation? And that is so empowering for kids, especially young kids. And a great way to do this is to give them their own bank account. Now there's one called Go Henry, which my 2 kids have, and they love it, and they learn about different activities, they call it cash missions, where they learn about money, but they have their own pocket money in there. So if they want to start buying a toy, we have to say, okay, how much money have you got in your bank account? If you want to buy it, you use your money to get it. And number 3 is teaching problem solving skills, where more importantly, instead of you stepping in and solving every problem that your kid has, guide them through the process of finding a solution themselves. Now I've lost track of how many times my kids have brought me a broken toy and said, this is broken, you need to fix this, and I've just said, oh, if it's broken, let's put it in the bin. They've screamed, no, wait, let me try and fix it, let me try. They've done it and they have fixed it, and they feel so proud that this was a problem that they knew they probably could have fixed or addressed if they had just tried, and when they do try it, they feel so proud of themselves. By just stepping in and fixing all of our kids' problems, we're actually hindering their ability to problem solve themselves. We want kids, when they are growing up and they encounter a problem, to be reliant on themselves, that they know they'll be able to find a way through, not that they just come crying to someone else about it. Number 3, how do we build confidence in our kids? And confidence is key to taking on new challenges and believing in yourself. So first up is celebrating achievements, acknowledging success no matter how small it is. And this can be things like they wrote their name for the first time, they colored in inside the lines, they did their homework whenever you asked them to, they put their clothes on themselves, they got a bath themselves, or they showered themselves. There's so many things, so many tiny little things that throughout the day you can offer to your child to take, and when they do it, you absolutely drown them in appreciation and well done, you've done that, that was amazing. Number 2 is encouraging new experiences. Now we all like to stick to what we know, but when you're a kid, everything can be new, and it's up to us as parents to try and expose our kids to as many of these different things as possible. They will all be scary, but they're scary for us as well. But kids have that ability to very quickly just get used to something, and they'll have that experience of confidence, of awareness of multiple different things throughout their whole life. And by being exposed to so many different experiences, they're gonna learn themselves, what do they prefer, what are their interests, what are their strengths, and you can really dial into that. And number 3 is offering positive feedback. Now that's just not saying how good everything is, but it's offering constructive feedback on what the kids do really well as things that they can improve on. My eldest Jack, he goes to football, and after every training session or every match, we'll sit in the car on the way home, and I'll say, how do you think that went? What did you think you did well? And he'll talk about, I was really encouraging everyone, I was in the right place, I was doing this and this and this, and he'll talk through all the things that he thought he did well. And then we'll say, okay, well, what do you think you need to work on for the next training session? And he might come up with a few things, was a wee bit lost concentration, or this or that, and it's like, okay, yep, I agree with that. So these are things to improve. This isn't like, you're rubbish at this, you shouldn't have done that. It's having the narrative that in everything that you do, there will always be areas for an improvement. And it's just about identifying them in a calm, positive way and saying, okay, I can put some more work into that. Next up, how do we nurture curiosity? Now, curiosity drives the desire to learn and explore. So first up, it's answering all those annoying questions that your kids are going to have. You've got to take their questions seriously and provide real, thoughtful answers to them, because this shows them that their curiosity is valued. Now, I love getting questions from my kids. They just pop out of nowhere. It's the most random question you've ever heard, but I love it. And I always answer them with the first sentence is, that is an amazing question. I'm so glad you asked that. And I often then fire it back to him by saying, well, what do you think's the answer? So to give you an example, my son asked me recently, why when you go up a mountain does it get colder? Surely you're getting closer to the sun, so it should be warmer. And I answered with, that is a brilliant question. That is brilliant logic. Yes, you are getting closer to the sun. And then explained, why do you think it's not that way? And he sat and thought, and he couldn't really answer it. And that was an example of a time when I had to step in after looking at Google and talking about, okay, well, this is the reason why. The air is thinner and stuff. And this is another reason why it's so important to keep encouraging new ideas and experiences with them. Regularly exposing them to new concepts and thought processes is a way that's going to really pique that curiosity curiosity. And then lastly, it's key to encourage exploration of your kids' curiosity. Give them opportunities to go as deep as they want into the things they're interested in. It's by being curious as kids that we develop a love for something, and if we stay curious as an adult, that is how we learn absolutely everything and develop mastery. By encouraging our kids to go deep on whatever they like, whether that's Star Wars or Pokemon or anything, you're instilling that in them as they grow older. And then the last thing is encouraging adaptability and problem solving. Now these are absolutely critical for navigating our world. Think of the rate of change of everything. With ChatGPT and AI, who knows what jobs are going to exist in the future? So first up is teaching them about flexibility. Show them that change is a part of life, and adapting to it is not only necessary, but it can be positive as well. And again, that comes into offering new experiences, trying new things, changing from one class up into the next class. And you can also role play different scenarios with your kids to get them used to problem solving, because this prepares them for real life challenges. So for example, on a daily basis almost, my kids kicked the football over the fence for next door, and I got sick going around there by myself. So I said to my eldest, who's 6, the next time that ball goes over the fence, you're going round to get it. So he has no idea what to do. He's never knocked anyone's door that he's not related to in his life. So we had a discussion. Okay, you're going to knock the door, ring the doorbell. When the person comes to the door, what are you going to say? And quite rightly he said, "Excuse me, can I have my ball back, please?" Perfect. We tried it out, and then the next day when it went over the fence again, we went round, I stood back and let him ring the bell, ask for the ball back, and he came back feeling so proud of himself. And the last way to encourage problem solving is to encourage critical thinking or logical thinking. Ask your kids open-ended questions that require them to actually think about a question themselves and try and come up with a solution. And again, this ties in with so many of the other aspects that we've talked about. There can be no wrong answers. They're praised for coming up with suggestions, and it's going to lead into different questions and different little avenues that they can become curious about, and you can research and find out about together. Raising successful or entrepreneurial kids is all about equipping them with the right mindset. By encouraging resilience, self-reliance, confidence, curiosity, and problem solving, you're setting your kids up for an amazing life. Being a parent is a hard journey, and every step you take is shaping your kids into the people that they're going to become as adults. It's difficult, and no one has it all figured out. My kids are still young. I can see real shoots and promising things that they're coming up with based on the way that I deal with them and talk about all these things to them. I don't care if they're a doctor or a bin man or run their own business. I just want them to be resilient and happy. I don't ever want my kids to feel trapped in a job because they can't get out of it, or to feel like are being forced into something else because there's no other options. I want them to be independent and be able to chart their way through their own life. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with another parent who you think needs to hear it. And if you're enjoying this parent content, watch this video next about why Airbnb is the best side hustle for dads. See you next time.